Well, today's a big day. Been looking forward to this for a long time. We're going to be putting these trusses on top of these legs that are already here. Got some friends to help. One friend with a telehandler and a scissor lift, so it's going to be a lot of aerial work. We're kind of figuring it out as we go, but I think we've got it in hand, and you'll get to see it all unfold later today. One thing about a structure like this is that you really do need equipment to raise the frame. I can't imagine how it would be possible to do this, even with a lot of people, just using muscle power. The telehandler, that's what you see in action now, is quite a machine. It can raise as much as 8,800 pounds, and I think it can go up to 40 feet in height. The peak of this building is just a little under 25, so we're really not working the machine very hard at all. And it, well, as you can see, it does all the heavy lifting, literally speaking. The rope you see here is pretty important because this first truss needs to be self-supporting because we need to unhitch the telehandler from it to pick up the second truss. And one truss on its own sitting on the top of those legs, a very light wind could probably start it going over, so we're not taking any chances. That's why we've tied the ropes on now, one in one direction, one in the other, and we'll rely on those to hold the truss in place while we get the second one in place and braced to the first one. The end of each truss fastens to the top of the legs with 4 bolts. They're special bolts, nuts, and washers because this is under a lot of strain, so it's got to perform. And the trick is really getting the bolt holes lined up so the bolts will go in. The first one gave us a bit of trouble. We had to do some finagling to get it to work. We got pretty good at it though by the end. We were just popping them on. We kind of understood the tricks. That's the thing is with jobs like this, you're usually pretty good by the time you're done and maybe never use those skills again. There's a hammer around.
Well, the next one I got to be as close as possible before I start going.
You might be wondering why I'm not using a socket on this. Well, there's not quite enough room between the head of the bolt and that main pipe for a socket to fit. I eventually did figure you get the socket on the bottom side, even though it's enclosed, and that certainly sped things up too. One of the things we learned pretty quickly was that it's necessary to loosen the anchor bolts at the bottom of the legs so we could move the legs around a little bit to get the bolt holes lined up. Of course, we tighten them up afterwards. I'm going to be using some epoxy set anchors for some of those unused holes as well, just for extra strength.
Better?
It hasn't moved much, I'm afraid.
It's springing back.
Maybe try hitting this side of the flange.
Not much up there, right?
No.
Totally what you need is you need Al twisting and you need somebody on another ladder with a bar because as he's twisting the frame is just following it.
Right. So
Like a little tiny pinfish Perfect. Far this way. Yep. Yeah.
Are you tightened up there, Al?
I need to jump down just a little bit so I can let the rest of the way.
Here I am tying off that first truss, as I explained earlier. I'm going to put some clamps on this leg so that the rope doesn't slide up. But you got to stabilize that first truss because it has to stand on its own for at least a few minutes.
Just tying that off there, eh?
Yeah, well, figuring this out as we go. We had some bolt hole misalignment issues, but I think we've got a temporary fix for that anyway. Raise it a bit because we're rubbing up against the rope there.
Okay.
Are you able to go more vertical on the main boom, or is that it?
I gotta try to, can't go down.
Put my first one in.
Okay. So I'm just gonna square up a little bit.
Here we are on the scissor lift. You really do need two things. You need the telehandler to raise, but then you need some way of getting up top so you can bolt on the braces and tighten up the cables, and that's where the scissor lift comes in.
That freaking rail right there.
The brace on top, the cable lug underneath that, and then the band around the big thing there. Yeah.
Just look at this. We forgot to go with that.
It's usually the way it works. Luckily, we can go down pretty quick. Well, now you can be wherever you want to be.
All the hardware came from Calhoun, and the drawings were very helpful. Everything's labeled, everything's got a name, you can see where everything goes. Al's actually making a little mistake here because that bracket that he's installing on the bottom, there needs to be another one on top too. We figured that out eventually.
Was it on the,
Here I am doing up the tensioning cable, one of them. All of these bolts and the cable itself will remain kind of slack because we thought it important to plumb up the first two sections, and once they're plumb, everything else did actually fall in place quite well. This is the third truss to go up, and it taught us a bit of a lesson because the other end is exactly where it should be on the top of the legs. So, yikes. We're about 6 inches short here. What's going on? I consulted a contractor who's been putting up Calhoun shelters for 25 years. Adam DeJong is his name. Very helpful man, very experienced. And he explained the trick of adjusting truss span. It comes down to installing some washers, which you can see here, at the bottom joints of the truss. There are 3 segments that make up each truss. No washers on the top, just washers on the bottom. And that little bit of extra material on the bottom really did stretch the truss out the 6 inches we need, and all the other trusses went in place surprisingly easily. Here you can see the structure in context. I have farm fields to the left of where you can see, and a trail leading there through a gate. So this is for equipment storage and lumber storage. I'm going to wall off a section inside for heated wintertime repairs, things like that. So that's what the structure is going to be used for. And here we are taking off a chain on a truss that has been fastened in place. It has enough of the braces that it can support itself with the help of the others. By the way, the hardware for a structure like this has been engineered and tested not to blow down under extreme conditions requires special hardware, and this is one example. This is no ordinary hot dip galvanized bolt. It meets engineering specs, as you can see here on the head, and these nuts are not typical either. This is a regular 1/2 inch galvanized nut. This is the high strength engineered one, and if you look closely, the faces are different. This is pretty typical, but look over here. There's a raised area which is very flat, so you get full contact over a larger area, much larger area than you'd get on a regular nut. Even the washers they have engineering specifications. This is F436, so it has to do with precision and hardness of the metal, because all this stuff is under a lot of stress, and you just can't use regular hardware for something like this. Let's go up top now and on the scissor lift, and I'll show you some more details that impressed me as this thing was going up. So having put the main part of the structure up, now I have to say I'm impressed with the engineering, with the strength. Hot dip galvanizing everywhere. Even though this is a sheltered structure, they're not taking any chances. None of this can rust, even if it never did have a cover on it. Here we've got these tensioning cables. They're tightened up the way they should. Because they're in an X pattern, they're going to lend a lot of rigidity to the ends, and that rigidity is transferred through the whole structure because of these horizontal members called purlins. When we pull the cover, the tarp will slide on that bottom purlin and rest on the main part of the trusses. I've sanded the top edge of those trusses smooth because galvanizing is kind of a rough process, and I just wanted the tarp to slide as smoothly as possible and not have anything that would speed up the wear of the tarp over the years. The galvanizing's still here. The metal's fully protected. It's just the little bumps of zinc that I took off, so it should slide well. Cover will last a long time. That thing that's bolted to the side of the leg, that's a winch for tightening the straps that will pull the tarp down. I've left the threaded rod longer than I needed because ultimately my plan is to sheathe the outside in wood, put some metal siding on it, and when that operation rises to the point of the legs, I'm going to loosen off one ratchet at a time and take that bolt out, and then just continue the hole on through the wall sheathing and the siding, and then do it back up again, then cut off the excess. But that's what that's all about. You can see something like the same winches, the ratchets on the top, the lintel there. So the middle part of that H is the top of the lintel that will form the doorway. And there are 3 winches there that will pull down the cover that forms the gable end of the building. Everything came together well. It's not like putting together a Lego set. There's a certain amount of wrestling involved, of course, in any structure this large. You got to get the bolt holes lined up. You got to do everything tight. One thing we did on the other side, we did the bolts, but not entirely tightly for the first section, because we wanted enough room to plumb the walls, a little bit of adjustment room, and we had it all perfect. Then I tightened them all up and we continued. So every nut and bolt here has been double checked for tightness, and all in all, I'm impressed, and finally can't wait to get some shelter, more shelter in my life. Well, as you can see, the structure's all up, or at least the main part of the structure. Once we got the hang of it, learned a few tricks like the ones I talked to you about, it went pretty smoothly. Just a whole bunch of lining up holes and doing up nuts and bolts and tensioning everything. Like the cables you see there, they provide rigidity to the structure. The next big part of the project is to pull the tarp over, but I think before we do that, we've got some framing to build here, because there's going to be 2 doors, one at each end, 14 feet by 14 feet. I've got all the parts ready here. It required some drilling in order to get everything ready. There's some uprights, cross piece, some places where a winch is going to pull down the end cover. Then it's time for the cover pull, and finally getting some shelter under this structure. So stay tuned for the next episode.